So I have to go all blue Ravenclaw CHESED sweater instead of my black sweatshirt because you can't see anything. The background looks black. It's going to be odd when we actually change this, but when in the light you can see the shake, the sparkles of blue, the shake of blue, because it's blue. The fun part about CHESED and Ravenclaw, it can go from regular blue to dark blue. Almost look black. I don't want to swear anymore. I don't want typos. Unless they're funny and genius. But most of the time it looks sloppy. I want when somebody looks at my video that they don't see the hole in the side of the screen or bad shadow lighting. When I speak, I want to speak clearly and concisely, direct and to the point. I want my message to be delivered and look ninja. With adequate follow through and a nice, funny, stingy punchline. Stingy. Like a bee stinger. My favorite masters. You'll be visited by many masters from the astral planes in life. And they all sound dull and redundant. My favorite was Osiris. He showed up to me as a mechanical machine that was trying to piece himself back together over the millennia. And what he did, you saw his pharaoh's crown and this Frankenstein-like device that he had conjured up to retrieve pieces of his soul and never quite put them back together accurately. But what he did do was exorcisms and point out demons and stab them very quickly. His rhetoric was refreshing, sharp, cutting, and cunning. Something so sophisticated, you wonder why Jesus doesn't talk like that. Because it gets your blood riling with excitement. And you feel the drama, or the deepness, or the authenticity of life. And it takes you from the matrix and into an actual magical world instead of you just sitting down and meditating. I'm gonna sit and meditate all day. I'm out of my body and my life is droll and boring, yet the entire planet is disintegrating before your very eyes. And every hippie spiritualist is like, everything is love and light. Everything is love and light. Let's just meditate. Forgiveness work. But Osiris was a ninja. Let me repeat that. Osiris was a ninja. Osiris sounded like a dragon. Eloquent, understood Slytherin, understood tricky, understood everything, and knew how to cut down another pretend master. Somebody who puts on a giant facade front of who they are, and then Osiris slaughters it. That's old Egyptian magic. Old. Everybody goes, look at me, look how Christ I am. And Osiris takes him out with one swoop in one sentence, sounding like an eloquent genius. Not an inch of hesitation, not a fraction of doubt, just pure brilliance. Mental body 15. I would rather sound like a genius. Swear words filter. Also typo filter. Stumble filter. Dumb. Dumb filter. Dead moments filter. So, we're going to be blessed with the gift of the word of the dragons, Babaji and Osiris. Babaji's pretty good, but nobody could take out somebody like that other than Osiris, the fastest tongue in the West. So we're going to put on the mental graft, the metal graft, and plug it into our third eye, our brain, and then we're going to reduce it, reduce the brackets or boxes, and put the pearl beads, and then go through the spinal column. We wrap the metal brackets and boxes around our bones. We put the foils in our hand bones, our joints, our feet bones, our joints. We put the razor blades in our coccyx and in between each vertebrae. And we let the metal boxes grow from the razor blades with that pearly goo on each blade. Perhaps it's a salviohexia goo. You can see the honeycomb. Now through the dragon tail. Swear words filter. The best lesson I ever got in life. Lucifer. God doesn't care if you swear. All right. I've been beat to death, starved to death, tortured, put through the ringer. And people care if I swear. Let me say that again. People think it's more important that I don't swear than them not stabbing me to death. Or starving me to death. Or murdering me. Understand that. They will reduce my video or my 50,000 hours of training into nothing because I have one swear word. Let me say that again. They will reduce an entire lifetime of training and mastery, perfection work, self-discipline work, mental training work into nothing because I have a swear word. So it triggers my brain to go into total anger boundary setting. I'm ready to stick a wand or a sword down their throat because I'm in the right and they are so far bizarro. They are hypocritical trolls times a billion. They have planetary karma up the wazoo, and most of them are confessed before they even come close to entering Slytherin. So my brain goes, no way. And then my brain says, no fucking way. And then they say I'm low. They just starved and tortured me to death, but I am low. All right. I'm in the right. They are so wrong, it's unbelievable. They have done none of the work. They've never even taken a punch. Oh, God. Much less entered Gaebera ever. So they don't know what it's like to even be in battle and then start swearing up a shitstorm. All right. That's beside the point. The point is this. They're in the wrong. I'm in the right. And that doesn't matter. So I go up to an oak tree because Lucifer, God doesn't care if you swear. Because Lucifer knows God cares about your heart and your soul instead of a swear word. All right. So I go to an oak tree or another tree, I forget. But the tree said this. It's peanuts compared to what you can actually do. Let me say that again. Swear, that's peanuts compared to what you can actually do. So the oak tree turned around the teaching of don't swear into something accurate and positive. Instead of it being condemnation, it was enlightenment. Because then I started swearing less and targeting a more direct statement with a more cutting consequence to every single, and it was on point and it looked ninja. And that's better than swearing. I would rather sound like a genius. Swearing, it's peanuts compared to what you can actually do. So if I can substitute the word fuck or shit or fucking Slytherins, if I can substitute those statements or words or something more condescending, something more clear, something more brilliant, something I would lust after saying because it sounds Jesus. Not Jesus, ninja. I would rather that one. So that way it targets my desire body to sound beautiful, but it also gets my emotions across correctly. Because I need the emotion of fucking Slytherin, okay? That's the point. That's why we say things like fucking Slytherin. I need the emotion. But I don't need those words. Let me say that again. I need the pizzazz or the pow of fucking Slytherin. I need the emotion. I do not need the word. Fucking this, fucking that. Oh, God. It's only because you haven't turned your brain on. No, we don't need to sound like that. What we need is a vocabulary. What we need is a thesaurus. What we need is a more poignant statement that gets the same message across. Maybe wraps them in circles, makes their head spin, because you just cut them down like an X-Acto blade against flesh. Clean cut, perfectly delivered. Samurai. So in the books list for the Seraphim, we have Vocabulary Ninja. Build a better vocabulary. How to do pranks on people. How to put people down. I'm going to write a book with Lucifer called Dragon Roasting. How to slay with a word or a phrase. That one phrase seeds into these people's brains for infinity. A gesture lasts for infinity. So a phrase to be remembered lasts for infinity. You want to be priceless in life, or at least not cheap. Every word, every phrase, not cheap. I am learning how to get out of that. I still feel it in my third eye, where much of what I say is useless rhetoric. And I can deliver the message in a more not cheap way. So I have to pop out of that bubble. And that's in my third eye. That's what I see in my brain. Okay? That's low. That's in my third eye. My root chakra is lower, but my throat chakra is definitely lower. So if it's in my brain, then it's definitely in my throat. Can I say that again? I get the download because of what I see and understand. And then I have an intention of what to communicate to the planet. And then what comes through my mouth My words may or may not match my third eye because of what's stuck in my throat chakra. Seriously. So, swear words filter, we definitely have to clean out that. But we also have to clean out that and this. So we should have the metal graft around our bones, the foil in our hands, in the hand bones, and in the joints. You should have micro hierophant. The fact I don't have the word for it, cross, like a hierophant cross, the three-pronged cross. You should have micro ones going into your left brain right now to install a new vocabulary. Every book you read is another cross or prong on that hierophant. Every book. Some people like to think every page. Every page they read. And then I look at how pathetic I am and I go, every page I write is like another cross. It should be every book. Okay, so we're gonna do that bone grafting around our ribs. Teeth. We should definitely have the foil between each tooth. Pearly whites. And then we should put a good vocabulary gel in the grid in our teeth. It's what you bite people with is a good vocabulary. That sounds so... What does it sound? I want to say erudite, but that's not the right word. Genius. Let's look it up. So that's the other problem, is that we don't have the right words because we don't have a good vocabulary. Do you know how often my boyfriend, who went to Oxford, Eton, and Cambridge, drops a 5-letter word or a 5-star word? How do you even say that? 5-point word. Okay. So let's go genius. Great intelligence, great intellect, clever, erudite, wise, sage, fine mind, wit, artistry, flair, creative power, talent, precocious, highbrow. So maybe I don't have a good vocabulary because I just throw the words away, even though I have all of what's in the current dictionary. Whatever. I want to look up sagacity. wisdom, deep insight, depth, profound. There. Penetrating. That's a word. It's penetrating. I want it to cut and penetrate. I want my word to be a sword and cut and penetrate. I want it to create intellect. I want it to create wisdom, truth. I want it to create boundary and high form. I want it to cut and penetrate until the job is done. The lesson gets learned. I want to speak like Misty Copeland dances. Can I say that again? I want my word to be Misty's dance. To be on point. So the first thing we're going to do is take that metal graft, that wire metal graft, and we're going to put on the cyan fire jelly to clean out the throat chakra. And then we're going to pour a petri dish glue on top of the cyan metal. Make sure the cyan fire jelly goes into the brain as well. It can be cerulean blue with cyan fire. Make sure it goes through the foils in your feet bones, in your ankles. You want people to say, I get you, loud and clear. Remember, you're not cutting into a Gryffindor or a Ravenclaw. You're not cutting into the Hoshmalame or Seraphim. You may be cutting into a Malakim because they're dumb or lazy or don't have a good enough boundary form set up for their existence. Okay. Who you're cutting into are Slytherin or Muggles. People who deserve it. People who would swindle you, stab you to death, and leave you to die. People who would sell you on the idea that they're your guru, make you pay them 20 grand, and then leave you hanging. And then you send them 500 emails and they can't respond to one. Because they stole all your money and they know it. All right? So it's people that deserve your retaliation. Is that the word I want to use? vengeance, reprisal, retribution, redress. They're all R words. Your reciprocity, your comeback. All right. Revenge. I don't like the word revenge. I like your form of attack. How do I, let's look up attack. See if there's a good word for that. Pounce. This is pathetic. Maybe there are 5 million words that haven't been invented yet that we're going to. Or that were going to be invented, but then somebody shut them down like a Slytherins. And it didn't end up in the dictionary. Just remember, all of these words were also made up once upon a time. They came from nowhere. Remember that. When you're a griffin or a raven or a bluebird, you're allowed to make up a word. Because you're the creator of word. Make sure it sounds good, though. Has the proper zing. Okay. I would rather sound like a genius. So make sure that cyan gel goes on and on the outer layer of the Petri goo glue. Your reprimand. That's the word I really wanted. It's punishment, but it delivers. It hits home. Reprimand. Yeah. Reprove. I like that one. Criticize. We're criticizing them. But it's not reductive, like, oh, that's just a criticism. It's God's tongue against their entire reality. You're slamming them against the wall with a word. Okay, make sure the good vocabulary poops through the end of the tail. When am I going to get a real one? When I go move in with Kelly, I'm going to go look for black walnut trees. And that's in Mississippi. Black walnuts are very popular in the South of America. They are not popular, however, in London. There is one black walnut tree at Kew Gardens. One. And I go there every time and I scour the floor looking for droppings, and there's nothing really. Or it's little teeny branches this thick. It's not a good sign. And I don't want to be asking the tree, will you please drop something for me? Can you make an animal shaky dry? Make something fall. No, that's abuse. How you communicate to the trees is part of the magic. You need to understand. It's rude to ask a tree, can you give me some of your droppings? That's rude. It is. I don't want to encourage the tree to get hurt. But if it has something there, I'll go, yeah. Most of the time I give it back and I add a little more magic to the scenario. And then you have to understand how you approach retrieving anything is 90% of the magic involved. So if it feels honest, like you didn't swindle the forest to get your prize, if it feels good, that's the magic. If it feels like you just gang raped a garden to walk through to like get your stuff, even if it was falling on the floor, I'm gonna go wand hunting. Okay, so that's the attitude that comes across in the magic. Most of the stuff that I have on sale, that will be on sale, is sacred trees that were cut down, and I was retrieving what was left after I was horrified because my friend just got slaughtered. So I want to be able to cut down those people with a word or a phrase that endures for infinity. Okay. Now we're going to paint this new body with dragon scales. And it's going to come with this pearlescent sheen, but it's cyan. And it's a dragon skin. So it's definitely a dragon body. It will go through your feet and your tail. It will cover the tail. And it might light up in your spine. It might add ridges to your spine. Like, always look for the new word. Learn your lessons from every single time you've ever confronted anyone and make it better. Please. Also, dinosaurs are in. So going back and studying language is atrocious 0. It's hip. And then we need it on the wings. Get the wings. Good language genomes on. All right. Now we're going to cover that dragon skin in purple. And then we're going to throw dahlias on this purple goo. Purple dahlias, white purple dahlias, hot pink purple dahlias. Third eye dahlias. Third eye magic. And we're going to coat it more. We're going to be, how do I make sure everything out of my mouth was from my third eye or higher? Let me say that again. How do I make sure everything, every word, every sound coming from my mouth is from my third eye or higher? instead of lower. I don't want what's coming from my mouth to be from my root chakra. It's different when you're speaking from the heart. I'm speaking from the heart. I have to do a love confession thing with my friends. I need to tell my family what's what. I need to be authentic and speak from the heart. But do you see how low that is? It's effective in communication to speak from the heart. It is not mastery, though. It is human. Osiris' mastery was from the third eye. When I do a video, unless I'm in Hufflepuff, I'm speaking from the third eye to deliver the greatest divine teaching and put it into the universe. Hi, magic. Hi, magic. When I speak from the heart, I am effectively communicating my feelings and my human self to another individual. Do you see how low my energy drops? From the third eye, ninja. From the heart. Okay, so the high priestess balances all of it. So the high priestess sits from the heart, through the throat, third eye, and the crown. So she can do all of it. There's a sense of discernment. So you need all those bodies. The throat is not low. Let me repeat that. When somebody says, you don't sing from the heart, that's like because you're singing from the solar plexus. Somebody who sings from their throat chakra may be better than somebody who sings from their heart. Can I say that again? Oh no, perfect form. Somebody who sings from their third eye. The girl who plays Rachel Berry. Idina Menzel sings from her heart. Let me say that again. And Rachel Berry sings from her third eye. She sings from her soul, and it's very different. They are not the same energetically. Rachel Berry wins over Idina Menzel. Can I say that again? Idina Menzel, when she can sing from her heart, throat, and her third eye, will win over Rachel Berry. Because that will be the Hierophant or High Priestess. But Rachel Berry at the third eye is the High Priestess. She has the download from God. And Idina has the download from divinity. Can I say that again? Divinity begins at the heart. Throat. Third eye, that's high divine. Okay. So, When I think of singing, I would look like Rachel Berry would be my vote. I wish that I could look like Rachel Berry holding it through my root chakra, and my third eye is my root chakra. That's real power. That's real magic. Can I say that again? That is real magic. Because she can hold it, the frequencies and vibrations from the third eye in her root chakra. And that is God. Not joking. Okay. I need discernment, a discernment layer. And it looks like black goo with rainbow. And this is patience. Oh man. It's rainbow sheen obsidian looking. Half of what I say is because I'm not even patient enough to say something accurately. So my neurological system taps out, and then I say things I don't mean or that I don't want to say because I'm on reaction mode instead of integration mode or deliberate word creation mode, word download mode. This, for me, the patience body, is what is needed to counteract the typos. What I do is get really excited. I write down 500 downloads, and then I hit send because I'm excited. Because I know whatever I just said is genius. But you know what is not genius? The typo. So the delivery is off. And it looks like a word fumble. Can you imagine a comedian standing in front of a stage, in front of an audience, on a stage, with 500 people watching, and they blow the timing or the punchline? They get booed off the stage. I know a comedian rehearses 500 times a day just to deliver one phrase. Believe me, I know. I've watched them. I've watched newbie comedians. Not newbies, 5 years into it, 10 years into it. And they have a 5-minute spec or a 5-minute set. And it's the same thing every single week. And I've watched. And I've watched, and I've waited to see it change, and it doesn't. And then somebody like Dane Cook comes as a headliner and does a 40-minute set, and everything is new. And then he comes back 3 weeks later, and the same newbie is on before Dane, and Dane has another 45-minute set, and it's all new. And he doesn't fumble it. And you wonder why that Dane Cook is a famous comedian that made money, and those newbies are zero. And that's the best lesson about Dane Cook I have to offer, because I don't like his comedy at all, but he is a genius. You need to understand that. People have gifts and talents, and you need to appreciate those things in life. I saw Dane another 3 weeks later, and he had another new 45-minute set. And the same newbies that have a 5-minute spec are there 9 weeks into it, practicing their delivery. So you need to learn, and you need to learn fast. You're a master. The witch world, man, you have to learn how to make it in the witch world. Hard. Mastery begins at Tiferet. In Ravenclaw, you're competing against like 8 billion Slytherins that want to kill you because you made it into Ravenclaw. And then you have to battle all the geniuses that are going to graduate from MIT and go to something like Sora when we finally have it built. So you need to understand, if you want to make it in this industry, you got to have the goods. And you work on your craft. Public speaking is needed at every single turn. You need to know how to teach, deliver, and communicate everything all day long for infinity, in the moment, to every stranger walking down the street, to a police officer who goes, "Oh no, you're a witch," when they realize that there's a planet ascension and Slytherin is here. So you need to understand that you have to have the adeptness of thought and insight to do your work. And using your word is the essential craft that you need to master. Period. All right. Let's go. So the thing about Slytherin, and Slytherin being confessed and Netzach is closed, is that even if Netzach is closed, they can still buy a gun. So this is the problem with an ascension, is because Slytherin realizes when they're needing to mutate for survival that they have no more access. Can I say that again? When they have finally calculated and connected the dots that they need to mutate into a witch or wizard to survive, and Netzach is closed, what they do is bad. So then we have to have cops chasing the Slytherins. It's a giant shit show. There is no better word for that. I would rather sound like a genius. Let's get back to work. So patience. Man. You need to see 500 years into the future, and you need to understand human behavior. Just think of the coronavirus, and like apparently all the toilet paper was bought up. It was not in London, but I can tell you this. Just the coronavirus, everybody decided that they were entitled to empty out the grocery store. Okay, so Netzach is closed. And the only people who are allowed to ascend into magic and power are Christ. Christ people. This is going to be exciting. All right. You need to learn how to use your word. When you can use your word, you might learn how to use your wand. It's Leviosa. All right. Now understand this. We're also doing it with very, very little power. Where a Slytherin can still buy a gun, and we're using our words and praying to God to save us. Can I say that again? We're praying that we get 500 times smarter every day. We grow. and grow and grow. And we either pray that that Slytherin person gets confessed very fast, or that they ascend into Tiferet and hit the Hufflepuff Nexa, like a true friend. But you're only gonna pray for that if there's somebody that is of a true friend value. All right. Meaning, if they stole $5,000 from you and pretended that they were your healer or your friend, and then you starved to death, like, they ain't your friend. And especially when they're rich and you're poor or homeless, not your friend. Okay, now we understand Slytherin. But they're spirit? No, they're not. They're not spiritual. If they were spiritual, they'd be working on a farm instead of swindling people for money. All right. Yeah, but they taught me how to meditate. Okay, so that every guru teaches somebody how to meditate so they can mind control them. All right, now we understand. Meditation is all available around the planet for free. All you have to do is go to the Self-Realization Fellowship and learn how to meditate for free. So just remember that. Charlie's over this. We're in the patience body. I'm getting impatient. We're going to put the metal grafts through the patience body goo glue. We're going to get everything to poop through the tail and through the spikes in the tail. Patience happens with time. So you don't pray for patience. Patience happens when you learn a lesson and you go, I didn't need to be afraid of the unknown. I can just be a more patient individual instead. So what happens when I'm doing typos or downloads is I get impatient and I'm afraid that I'm not going to get my message delivered because I'm afraid of the unknown. Instead of, I'm okay with the unknown, go back and edit it and then send a wallop. It looks better when you do it the second way. But it took time. So I'm getting a download from two guys that I've kind of become friends with on Facebook over the course of the last year or 2 years. And one's obsessed with snail magic. So we're going to put more ammonite on this body. And then I think we're good. Sometimes your snails are looking for the right word. And then next, the final layer. The final layer. How do I have the right word or the perfect phrase in the moment? The most honorable Gabriel cutting response. That's clever, witty, shrewd. I'm getting red powdered Gabriel dust. But it's kind of like a raspberry color or darker red. And then I'm getting professional comedian jelly. There is no better person for roasting individuals than a professional comedian on stage in the moment. Dealing with a heckler. That's what we're doing all day long when we do magic on the planet. Dealing with hecklers all day long. All right, now we've got the Petri dish goo glue to make sure that powder gets integrated. Now we're gonna times this by 50. Emotionally, I go, I don't even want another mental body because this one's the perfect one. Like my life is complete if I have this mental body set up. On the inside, that's where I'm at emotionally in life. It's pretty sad. Okay, so 50 out, up, down, and back. There's a piece of me in my left side that goes, I don't want any of you. I just want to be dumb. Okay, so that's the demon that's still sticking around. So I'm going to make sure that that grid comes through that demon and pops through it. Like, why do you get to choose, dude? Dude. When people are dumb, I call them dude a lot. I even said that to Star once. She goes, I'm not a dude. Sure. It's demeaning. That's why you say it. Get out of my way, dude. That's cutting. And it's so subtle. Make sure it goes through the wings. We have that 50 mental bodies thing happening too. Needs to come through. All right. Now we're going to do the Gryffindor lava times 50, going out, up, down, back, and then hot pink paste. Blue gels, 50, up, across, back, and then down. All right. And then we have the pearl inlays. $50 up, down, out. And then we're gonna porcupine and create the egg around us and beneath us. And we're gonna create the metal mesh around our egg. Somebody's saying I'm word vomit. So how do I not be word vomit? That do you see how that's not a cutting response to call somebody word vomit? It's not a sharp as the sword spiritual teaching. It's more like a dull, overlorded spiritual person who wants to send you feedback and needs their 2 cents in your pocket. Just to feel like they're heard. What I say is word vomit. So if your words come from your third eye and then go down through your mouth, it's not word vomit. Can I say that again? So we need the violet flame plasma with more third eye magic on the outside of our egg, on the outside of the metal mesh. We're gonna dip it in violet flame honeycomb plasma, anti-word vomit. People also say things like, all you say is word vomit when they just want you to appreciate them for existing. And they need attention. So if you're a master, you live off of only condemnation and incessant criticism. And you never, ever even like your ego stroked because it feels like a Slytherin trying to manipulate you. So Lucifer doesn't stroke my ego. Lucifer makes jokes with me all day long. So I don't seek for approval from Lucifer. What he does with me is constant stick training. And it's sincere and motherly almost. So it needs to be this much. We need to get that better. Oh, you're dragon shit right now. We need to do this. We need to do that. And it's never ending. So that's a master doesn't need validation. Okay. What they need is information that they're not insane. that kind of validation. But that's about it. Adequate feedback on specific markers of intelligence, or they need it to be subjective 0 and objective 100%. I don't need to step on a scale to know how much I weigh. Okay. If you have a problem stepping on a scale to know how much you weigh, then you have an issue that needs resolved. And it's to pass Hode. That's a low magic. I don't even have the self-confidence or self-esteem to look at the truth. That's the solar plexus. All right. I feel like the violet flame plasma is coming up around our egg. We should have a dragon light it up. Ask for the dragon to clean out any of the word vomit, maybe just more virtue juice inside of our word's mental body. And remember, this includes spelling, good spelling. I'm a bad speller. Let me burn that out of my body. So then I have to go. I lost so many jobs because I forgot how to spell my own name. It should have been God. All right, Collie Wren out.